Yeah, I feel good. I didn't really think anything of it, first week, but just kind of tweaked it again this past game. And so, obviously you want to feel as good as you can, but it's just kind of one of those, nagging things that you just deal with. It happens to everybody. I'm sure everybody's got, something they're dealing with week by week. So I feel good. I'm ready to play. It's not even bothering me.
Like, how anxious are you to get back out there after Sunday's performance?
Yeah, super anxious. It's kind of like what the coaches said too. Just excited to move on, prepare for the next opponent. Learn from all of our mistakes, and how can we just apply it for this next week? And that's what the focus has been all week in practice.
How quickly do you do that? How quickly do you turn the page? Is it like Sunday night, Monday? What are you doing this?
Yeah, right after we watch it. So Monday morning we get together as a whole staff and players, and we watch the film, and you obviously learn from it. But then, 24 hours after that game, you squash it and you learn from it, and you move right on.
I don't think anyone who's ever watched you play would describe your style as boring. But when you hear your head coach say he'd like you to play that way sometimes, how hard would it be for you to embrace that kind of style or approach?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily challenging. It's just being smart with the ball, and then understanding, sometimes, those situations in games like that, there wasn't checkdowns on some of those interceptions, right? It's not just, hey, check the ball down. It's, hey, be smart with the ball. How can you throw it away or get rid of it? And that's what I'm applying to this next week. It's just trying to learn and just get better.
What have you seen on film that the Broncos defense presents?
Yeah, I would say they're very sound on what they do. They always try and give you the same looks, and they do a good job in the details that they give. And they want to limit you to not having all those big plays. And it's a good defense. It's hard to beat teams that play that way, and they have a lot of good players as well. And of course, they're going to do things to let those players show what they're capable of doing. So it's going to be a great challenge for us this week.
Zach, this might be a naive question from a guy from Jersey, but is Denver the closest team to your home?
Yeah, Denver I'd probably say is the closest, and now I would probably say it's the Raiders. Now that the Raiders in Vegas is about a 6-hour drive.
Were the Broncos kind of like the team around where you?
They weren't. It's interesting. I was just a big college football guy. I had teams I cheered for, because of players, Aaron Rodgers, and I liked the Packers because of that, but it was mostly just because of Aaron. But I wasn't ever a big Denver fan, or even San Francisco or the California teams are pretty popular in Utah as well.
Will you have a large contingent of family coming to this game?
Yeah, I think I should have a good amount of family coming, just because it's the only West Coast game I think we got, and so easy traveling for them.
Speaking of the mountain time zone, you played so many games in the rarefied air, the mountain air. A lot of players haven't. What kind of advice do you give to your teammates? What's the key to dealing with those elements?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if I have an answer for them, and it's because when I went to BYU and I played there, I didn't notice it. It seemed normal to me. And when I left, it seemed normal. But then all of a sudden, I've been out here, and then combine training, I was in California for 3 months, and then I go back to Utah, and then all of a sudden it hits me like, oh, wow, this air's a little thin here. And it's just getting used to it. And I think that's why it's going to be good. We have a little bit of time. But honestly, I think it's not going to be as big of a deal as I think a lot of guys make it. As long as guys come prepared and ready to go and in shape like I think we are, then I think guys will be able to handle it, and we'll be all right.
After going through a game like that, there's so many armchair quarterbacks. I'm wondering how hard is it to tune out stuff that's going on this week from friends offering advice or tips or whatever. I mean, have you been inundated with that stuff, and how do you handle it?
No, not much. I mean, I feel like I have a good cast around me as far as just family and stuff, and especially the people I surround myself with. A lot of people don't have my number that aren't super close to me, so they understand how I am as a player and how I approach every single week. And so I haven't had anyone really, overcoach or try and give perspective, because they understand how hard the position is, and they don't understand, everything that we go through as a player. So I feel like it's been good. But when I signed up for this job to come here, I knew there was going to be adversity, just like there was in college and just like there was in high school. So, we work through it, and we just keep getting better.
Last week, Corey only had 2 catches, 8 yards. So obviously, he's a big piece of this offense. What do you got to do to make sure that he can be more involved this week?
Yeah, he's a good player, and I think it's kind of doing what we've been trying to do. Put him in the right spots and let him, do his thing and really just executing, getting drives going on offense, and taking care of the ball is going to help getting the ball in his hands.
You had perhaps your two best throws in the fourth quarter. What does that say about your mindset as far as, you had that pass to Jeff Smith and the pass to Berrios on the left sideline, and this was after some rough patches. What does that say about the mindset you have about forging ahead and not letting what happened in the past impact you moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that, and it's how can you, just hit that reset button and treat every single play like it's a new play, and not think about what had already happened up to that point. There's going to be a lot of times where a first half doesn't go well or, whatever, and you got to finish, and it's crunch time at the end of a game, and you got to be able to pull through and just kind of forget about a lot of that stuff. So it's a good learning experience for me and then the guys in that situation as well that, when things aren't going right, how can we keep, pushing and competing all the way until the end.
Have you always had that, or was that like a learned skill because of playing the position?
Yeah, I think it's just, repetition and how much you put yourself in that position, and, just understanding the competitiveness you have in yourself, and then us as a team. It doesn't look good when Denver throws on the clips and they say, hey, this team completely stopped trying in the fourth quarter. So it's a message for us that, like, what we put on film is what everyone else in the league sees, and so no matter the score, we need to fight all the way till the end and just keep doing our thing.
They had a lot of success against Trevor Lawrence last week, so obviously you guys are linked because of where you were drafted. What was it that they were doing that was so successful that seemed to rattle him?
I don't know. I mean, they're a good team, and I thought Trevor had made some good plays, but you got to give the defense credit as well. I don't know exactly what their game plan was, but you can kind of see similarities across the board as far as what they're looking for, and so I'm hoping to learn from probably things that he saw and what things I'm seeing on clips of watching kind of what he went through and how I can kind of learn from those right now before we get into that game.
Take a couple more. Anyone who starts a new job obviously encounters things that they didn't expect. In these first 2 weeks, what has stopped you or made you say, wow, I'm surprised by that, I didn't expect that?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything specific. I would say, I haven't thrown 4 picks ever in my life in a game, and so, obviously I got to clean that up and take care of that, but it's just, being able to fight through that adversity every single week, and how can I just keep on getting better and better, and, I knew it was going to be challenging coming here, and I knew there was going to be probably things I would have to, adjust and just keep getting better at, and that's part of it, like just how last game was. So it's, how can you move on and just get ready for this next one?
You go from Bill Belichick one week to Vic Fangio the next week, two of the best defensive minds probably on the planet. What kind of challenge is that from you going from Belichick to Fangio? What are some of the wrinkles that Fangio presents that make his defense unique?
Yeah, a couple of the best right there, and it's interesting because the schemes are very different as far as what they're trying to do and the way they disguise things, the way they teach things, and it's going to be a good challenge, for me specifically, and then also the team, and I think they just do a good job of just coaching their players to just know their defense so well and understanding what their weak links are in there and how can they eliminate that, and then also have quarterbacks under pressure with some of their pass rushers that they got up front as well.
Everybody good?
Thanks, guys.
Great job.
Thank you.